Hey friends, let's get started. All right, welcome back to another episode. Always excited to have you guys here. I am going to bug you one more time. This is the last week to join Mama's members to kick off the Levels of Liberty for Mamas. You can listen all about that in episode 141. You can hear everything about it. Basically, it's helping you to build habits to help you become who it is you have the potential to become. It is going to be amazing. And it's so fun to be that example for our kids as well, showing them what is possible, showing them the road, how to do these things. It's going to be a ton of fun. And I'm going to be having prizes because prizes are fun and I like having fun. So, anyways, I'd love to have you guys join me. You can hear more about it on that episode as well. Okay, let's see. I've already lost my spot. Okay. Sometimes I write a podcast episode because I have something going on in my life, right? I had something pop up and I really want to share it with you, or I have something I'm dealing with, like when my son went on his mission. I did a whole episode about riding the wave of emotion. And the other day, that was so helpful for me because it hit me so hard. That wave. I was downstairs riding my bike and I was thinking about my missionary out serving and then my daughter who's living in Puerto Rico being a nanny. And I just bawled my eyes out and I biked so hard and I just cried and stepped into that emotion. So I've done episodes on like, this is what's going on in my life and this is kind of the process and how I'm doing these things. So you can go check out that episode too if you need help stepping into an emotion. But so sometimes that's what it is. Like an episode is, this is kind of what's going on in my life and I want to share it with you. Now sometimes I get inspired from a question that comes into Ask Mama. And Ask Mama is a platform within Mama's members where you can write in any question and ask me something anonymously. And these questions are fantastic. They are so good. So sometimes I'll get just an awesome question and I think, ooh, I would love to do a whole podcast episode about this. I bet a lot of people are struggling with this, right? Things like how to make school a priority and stuff like that. So those are really good questions. So today's episode is actually inspired from private coaching sessions. And everybody comes to a private session with different concerns and comments, and I love it all. But it was so interesting because the other day I had 3 back-to-back sessions and they all revolved around screens and their kids. And I thought, oh my goodness, this is actually probably a bigger concern than I realized that a lot of people might need help with this. So I wanted to do a full episode about kids and screens. So these awesome clients came and each of them had different circumstances with their kids and everything, but it boiled down to their kids all having behavior issues because of screens and technology. So it's so interesting because anything can be used for good or bad, right? Take something as simple as food. Food can fuel our body. It can give us awesome vitamins and minerals and nutrients, right? But it can also cause people to have disease, be overweight, make you feel awful, right? Screens are the exact same way. There are some really, really awesome things about them, and unfortunately, there are also some really negative things about them. So some of the downsides of them, they are incredibly addicting. They are literally designed to be addicting, right? With notifications, with all those types of things. And how often it's like, where's my phone? And have to have your phone in your pocket or all those types of things, right? They're super addicting. Other things on screens, pornography, gaming, social media. There are really dark cartoons out there. YouTube, that's one that can be used for good or bad. And I've seen both. Dark music. And by dark, I mean that it drives the spirit right out. When you would be embarrassed if we're talking about kids watching it, you'd be embarrassed if somebody else heard what was going on, or you just feel yucky, right? Listening or watching to something like that. So those are just to name a few. So those are some of the reasons why a lot of parents don't even want their kids to have smartphones or be on the screen too much. But there are also some great things about screens. Phones, tablets, and computers. I run my full business with my phone and my laptop. I get to talk to so many amazing women and help them with their homeschool journey and help them with their parenting and all these things because I'm online with a screen. So it's super awesome. My husband, his whole company, the reason he can travel with this so much is because he can do it all online and have a screen with him. So those are some really awesome things with it. We can connect with people that we can't always be with. I think we saw a lot of that with COVID, right? If you had somebody that was really concerned, but you could talk to them on Zoom. I have family members that don't live right by me, right? So if my brother, he was in Germany for a couple years, so I could message them, right? And do things that you normally couldn't do if you didn't have a screen. Send a carrier pigeon, I don't know. But we could just text. It was super easier. Another awesome thing about screens is you can learn new skills. I don't know how many times I've had to YouTube something of how in the world do I figure this out. I actually have a blender. Is it the Ninja or something like that? It was at Costco, and I could not figure out for the life of me how to run this blender. And I thought, I'll just YouTube it. There was a video of how to do this blender, how to make it work, and I thought, oh, that was actually really simple. So basic skills like that. My daughter learned how to do art by getting online. I think it was Let's Make Art. My son learned how to play the guitar from YouTube. You can be inspired by awesome speakers, whether that is a general conference talk, just a motivational speaker, TED Talks, anything like that. I find a lot of recipes online. I'm inspired by home decor. I even get on there for fun homeschool craft and homeschool ideas. So there is the awesome part of screens, and then there's the opposite, right? That has the both sides. So how do you balance this with your children? So there are different things that some people do. Some people lean on the side of allowing their kids to just manage their own time online. They allow them to download apps and basically do whatever they want online, right? You can text anybody you want. You can get on YouTube. You can do all these things. Just turn on the TV. Basically do whatever you want. Some people let their kids have screen time every day. It's something that their kids can earn, and then they can play on something until the time is up. Some people want to avoid it altogether and want to avoid ever their children having a smartphone or being on a computer or having a tablet or anything like that. Before my kids got phones or were allowed to know the computer password, I was totally in that camp of just wanting to avoid technology. I just wanted keeping my baby so safe, right? But my wonderful husband pointed out to me that eventually our kids will grow up, move out, and can just buy their own phone or get on the internet, and suggested that it would be better to give our kids skills instead of avoiding it. So that's what we ended up doing with our children. Instead of hiding them underneath a rock and not letting them ever be exposed to technology, but instead teach them how to master technology instead of technology running their lives. So how does one do that? Drum roll, please. Levels of Liberty. I love Levels of Liberty so much because it just takes away the drama of parenting. So phones, tablets, computers, and all other forms of technology are a liberty. They are not a necessity. You are fine if you do not have a phone. Is it inconvenient? Probably. But is it a necessity? Absolutely not. Television? Not a necessity. Tablets? Not a necessity. I will never take away my children's basic needs. I will never take food away from them, right? I will never take water, shelter, clothing, all those types of things from them. But phone, screens, all those things are liberties. They're things to be earned. And so all of those things come with responsibility. So often children want the liberty without the responsibility. But let's be honest, I don't blame them because I would love to do the same thing. For me personally, I would love to eat whatever I want. I would love to eat candy and donuts for all my meals and not have to deal with the responsibility that comes with that. But I understand that I have to take responsibility for my own health. So therefore, I choose not to put those things into my body because I understand the consequences of those. So I take responsibility for my health. I exercise. I try to eat real food because I understand the consequences. Children rarely understand the consequences of their choices. All they know is that screens are fun. They light up. They are magical, right? They are just getting dopamine hit of just feeling good. They don't have to think. They don't have to feel bored. They don't have to be annoyed or irritated or anything. They just get to check out and go to another world and get rid of any uncomfortable emotions. But screens affect kids and they affect everybody, right? But think of these little cute brains, they're growing, and to just give them a screen, it is affecting their brain so much. So here are some effects of screen time. Excessive screen time, and they are saying excessive is more than 2 hours a day. But that would include any screen time, right? So not just one time is 2 hours and then you could do another time for an hour, but as a total in a day, 2 hours. So if they looked at something at your phone or had the TV on, a total of 2 hours is considered excessive. So excessive screen time has been linked to aggression and other behavioral issues. Kids who have more than 2 hours a day of screen time are more likely to have angry outbursts or be irritable when they are not using these devices. They are also more likely to have emotional or attention problems. So I want you to get curious. If you have a child who is on a screen often, are they having some behavioral issues with aggression, with attention? It's just that competing with that screen, it is causing so many issues. Another study, in multiple studies, excessive screen time has been linked to school problems. There's anger again, aggression, frustration, depression, and emotional problems. Overstimulation causes kids to have poor focus and depletes their mental energy, which often leads to explosive behavior. And it's so interesting with how many kids are being diagnosed with ADD and ADHD, of just being curious if they're overstimulated, right? That it causes them to have the poor focus. I don't know, that's my own opinion, but I'm just, that makes me very curious with how many children are getting those diagnoses. Another study, too much screen time can lead to obesity, sleep problems. The blue light tells your mind to wake up, right? So think of sleep problems, especially at nighttime. That little screen acts like it's the sunshine and tells your brain like time to be awake, time to be up. So see if you're having sleep problems or your kids are having sleep problems. Are you on a screen too much, right? Chronic neck and back problems, depression, there it is again, anxiety, that was in there, and lower test scores in children. So those are some of the issues and side effects and consequences that come with screens. Now, do I think screens are evil? Absolutely not. But I don't think children need to be on them every day. And I think being able to manage your time and what you look at on a screen is a skill. That's why I like to use levels of liberty so that they can earn a phone, earn social media account when they are ready, earn YouTube, earn these things, right? Whatever it is for them, earn video games, whatever it is for you guys. So what would that look like? That would be sitting down with your kids in family meeting. Why are you not having family meeting? Have a regular family meeting. Sitting down with your kids and asking them, what type of liberties do you want? What do you want in our home? And they may say, I want to play video games. I want to be able to go with friends. I want to drive. I want to date. I want to do whatever, right? And throw them all out there. My kids had things like going somewhere without an adult, having friends over without an adult, getting a phone, being able to date, being able to drive, have their own social media account, knowing the computer password. Those were some of the things. Then we mapped out different skills and habits to master so they could earn those things. Now, one of the things I have on there, YouTube can be so awesome, right? You can learn amazing skills. You can laugh. There are hilarious videos on YouTube. There is also porn on YouTube. So I do not feel, for me personally, that a 13-year-old is ready to navigate that with their raging hormones and YouTube just throwing different things at them, right? So it is for my family a later liberty that they can earn when they start showing that they do have the control to turn things off, to avoid things, to really be careful with those types of things. So as you are asking your children, what are some of the liberties they want and some of the things they want? There I go. Especially so when it comes to screens. So the thing you have to realize is that because they don't understand consequences, they may not understand liberties and what is the best for them, right? So if I ask my 4-year-old what he would want for dinner, he would probably say pizza every single night. And he is not ready for the responsibility of choosing dinner because he doesn't understand the consequences. All he knows is that pizza is delicious and pizza is yummy. And for some reason, what does he love? Some bacon pizza from Papa John's that my husband got once for New Year's Day. And every day he wants this bacon pizza from Papa John's. But that's so their little brains are not quite ready to completely understand. So they may have things like, okay, you know what a liberty I want is I want to be able to play 2 hours a day of video games. They probably need to be taught that that isn't good for their brain. Then figure out a compromise. So you could say maybe instead of every day, we're going to do 1 day a week, but we're actually going to go to have 3 hours on that day or 2 hours on that day or whatever it is. Or you could pick twice a week and have 2 hours on those 2 times and working with them. I would suggest that for younger children, it is challenging to earn screen time each day. They usually get very whiny to get their screen time. And then when their screen time is over, they are very whiny when the time is up. I personally do not want that battle every day. So I do not do a daily screen time. I don't want to manage it. I don't want to have to fight them with it. I don't want that chaos in my life. So I don't do anything with a daily screen time. And I've seen no real benefit with a younger child of daily screen time. We do what I affectionately call Binge Fest, where Friday nights the kids can watch movies. And they have their 1 night a week where they can just go for it and watch movies. Then I don't have to ask, they don't ask me every day and I don't have to manage that. So with teens, I have the same idea where we're not on like watching a movie every day or TV or something like that. But if they have a phone, they are now allowed to get on it every day. So I have an app on there. I believe it's called Family Time, and I did have to pay for like a subscription. But I really liked the app because I can have complete control over it. That I've locked all internet, locked any apps that they can't even download apps. Their phone is set for 40 minutes. I can actually turn off their phone from my phone and all sorts of things. And it is super, super great. Because I don't want to have to manage any of those extra things, right? So for teens with phones, I would make sure that they really have the skills to have a phone. If you've already given your kids a phone, it's okay to say, I gave this to you too early. I need to take it back, right? If they don't have skills with honesty, having a phone is probably not going to be a very good fit for them. If they have a hard time being kind, a phone is not a good fit because then they can send text messages that can cause a lot of damage or a lot of hurt to somebody else. Even if it's just a text message and they're not in, I don't know, on a YouTube channel making rude comments or social media pages making fun of people. But in the text messages, I've seen kids who aren't ready for a phone send very hurtful and hateful texts because when you don't see somebody face to face, you feel a lot more confident to send something that you would never say to them face to face, right? But you feel confident behind the screen you're hiding. So they're not ready for a phone if they don't have some of these basic skills. So if you have already given them a screen, right, and you know it's causing problems, and you may feel bad about cutting back. Your children may even tell you that you are horrible. You are the absolute worst when you take them away. Friends, that's only a problem if you decide it is a problem. I love suggesting to mamas to change the word screen or phone or tablet to something else like alcohol. If you found your kid was drinking, would you feel bad to take it away? Absolutely not. Would you feel bad if your kid yelled and said, you are the worst, I love alcohol, I just want to have alcohol every day? You wouldn't care that they were mad at you because you understand that alcohol is not good for their body. So bring this up in family meeting. Be open, be honest, be loving, be kind, and let them know that you're going to be cutting back. Allow them space to be angry and frustrated, and then give them steps on how to earn screen time and teach them how to be in charge of their screens instead of their screens being in charge of them. Mamas, I am seeing an alarming trend of behavior issues that are stemming from screens. So much so that I am like ready to throw out anything we have, but just making myself be even more vigilant in my own home to be careful, because I understand, like, sometimes when your kid is whiny or just they're driving you crazy and you're like, I don't want to yell at you. Here's a screen. You'll be quiet and then we can just have peace, right? But you're just eliminating dealing with that problem now, and you're actually going to compound the problem because now you still feel annoyed and irritated with your kids, plus you're going to have to detox them off of screens. So even though it feels like a quick fix, quick fixes rarely solve long-term problems. So I want to challenge you guys to really step into looking in your home and into screen time and seeing if it's serving your family, seeing if there are behavior issues with your children. Are they very angry? Are they very irritated? Are they depressed? Are they having a hard time concentrating? Then you may need to cut back on screens and what they're being presented with. Now, this even includes screen time, would even include school screen time. So if your school is doing a lot of stuff on screen time, that can start affecting their brain as well. So if you are needing help with any of this, please, 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 there are videos and podcasts about Levels of Liberty that in Mama's Members, I really dive deep. We have a monthly call about Levels of Liberty. I even sign up for private sessions, whether you're a member or not, and I can go over all of this with you and really help you through this process of helping you feel confident in your decision and believing in yourself, even being okay if your kid says you're the worst, I think this is stupid, this is like you're the meanest person ever, and just like, I love you anyway. And you can totally feel that. So I want to love you all. I want to love you all. I do love you all. And I just would love to see all of you succeed and just even connect with your babies at a different level. And if you have something like this in your home that is causing contention, is causing a lot of behavior issues, I really want to challenge you to take it out of your home. Okay, love you so much, and I will talk to you next week.